What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, Crypto Warriors? It's Sergeant Crypto back at it again. Today is Thursday, June 11, 2020. The quickest way to double your money is to fold it over and put it back in your pocket. Will Rogers. That's pretty damn funny. Let's get into it. This is coming out of the Daily Huddle. U.S. Congressman. Bitcoin is a great store of value. Central bank printing has consequences. This is a congressman that's currently serving right now in Congress. U.S. Congressman Warren Davidson thinks Bitcoin is a great store of value while taking shots at central banks for their efforts to print more money. In a new interview with Laura Shin of Unchained, great podcast, the Ohio Republican lauds the potential of crypto assets. He also criticizes how frequently modern central banks print money. Some people in the space don't support central banks. I think a central bank has a role, but I do think it's cautionary, as people say, how we should print another $3 trillion and another. The modern monetary theory. People that believe if you have a central bank, you can just keep printing money. That's not what history shows. And frankly, the logic of it is that you can just dilute the value of everyone's money and there's no consequences for it. And that's completely irrational. So people in the crypto space and obviously Bitcoin fans will see the fallacious argument for what it is. I'm just reading all his quotes here that's in the article. But he is friggin' spot on, and I am hoping that he's able to turn some of his colleagues in Congress towards Bitcoin and to see the value of Bitcoin and to get away from the Federal Reserve, which is a private central bank to the United States. I think if you had Bitcoin as your national currency, you would see the lack of flexibility that Bitcoin would provide for a central bank in a situation like this. I view Bitcoin personally kind of like digital gold versus true currency. I think it's a great store of value. And I definitely agree with him right there. Clearly, the most vocal opponent in Congress of this space is Brad Sherman. Brad Sherman is a Democrat from LA, and now he is the chairman of the Capital Markets Subcommittee. It's safe to say that as long as he's in that chairmanship, it's going to be a challenge to move legislation. Brad Sherman is a puppet for banks. A lot of his funding comes from banks. His re-election campaign was funded by banks. So he doesn't like Bitcoin. He doesn't like cryptocurrencies. He's even been recorded and stated that Bitcoin is a problem for the power of the US dollar, that Bitcoin it needs to be stopped, it needs to be banned because it's a problem for the US dollar, and that other countries can avoid sanctions posed by the US by just using Bitcoin, by opting out of the current system, and that people can opt out of the current system by using Bitcoin. He basically said that. So he knows what Bitcoin is, and he knows that it's a threat to him and his bankster friends. Brad Sherman, if you're in LA, you need to vote him out of office because he is a crony capitalist. Next, meet the pro-Bitcoin anti-bit licensed Democrat running for state office, and this is coming from CoinDesk. When Patrick Nelson first ran for public office, he was 25 and had already founded two nanobiotechnology startups and had a deep appreciation for Bitcoin. Again, I'm just going to read a couple of his quotes. Bitcoin is well in line with the principles of federalism and checks and balances that underline the American system of government. The blockchain and Bitcoin are poised to do for the transfer of value what the internet did for the transfer of information. That's what he said back in 2016, and he is correct. When we saw the rise of the internet, and especially once the infrastructure was built up for the internet, we saw that information was able to travel the world at the speed of light. We were able to stream, stream videos, Netflix and chill. We were able to have a video conferencing via Skype and Zoom and Google Chat and everything, right? FaceTime, all these things are now available because the infrastructure that was built up around and for the internet. And that's what's happening currently for cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. The infrastructure is being built up right now so that we will be able to have a future where everything is digital. Because everything is pretty much digital already anyway. We're seeing the companies that's winning right now on Wall Street are all digital companies. Last month, when the New York State Democrat primary was canceled due to coronavirus, Nelson spoke with party leaders to consider using a blockchain voting system to enable citizens to have a say in what delegates would be nominated. He is pushing and pushing for adoption of blockchain technologies within the voting system. And I'm not going to read all of this article. It's pretty lengthy here, but yeah, he's all about Bitcoin and he's all about blockchain, and he's trying to again have his colleagues see the benefits of what blockchain is and how we as a society can benefit from it. I like the idea of a decentralized payment system for people to control their own money without necessarily having to use banks as intermediaries if people don't want to. And again, it's about choices. Right now, I'm going through a situation with my bank because I transfer money to exchanges like Gemini. I used to use Coinbase, but they are pretty much holding my funds hostage because they're saying that I'm transferring my money off. Like, what am I doing with my own money? They're asking me what am I doing with my own money. Needless to say that after this situation gets settled, I won't be using that bank anymore. And I've been with them for 18 years, since I was in the military. But it's sad to see that they have to go to such extremes and basically try to stop you from using their competition, which is Bitcoin. I haven't been too involved in it in recent years, but I have seen some interesting applications for blockchain technology in voting. One of the solutions I was bringing to the leadership was an encrypted remote voting system that could ensure one person, one vote using a blockchain system. And he goes on to talk more about private keys per citizen, for every citizen to have a private key and a public key, and some kind of voting system or app where you're able to see that that person already made their vote and participated in the election if they already had, and they can't double vote, just like we can't double spend Bitcoin. So great article, come and give it a read. And as always, I always leave all the articles in the comment section below for you to go come and do a little bit more of a deep dive for yourself. Next, the Dow crashes more than 1,800 points out of nowhere, and they're giving us their spill on, or their ideas on why the Dow crashed today. We saw that the whole market tanked today, everything, and it affected our markets as well in the cryptocurrency space. And I'm going to be scrolling over here to the currency part. Yeah. Oh, Bitcoin is back up again. Well, it was down quite a lot today. I think it was down like 5% during the day. And markets as well were pretty much down 5% during the day. However, they want to say that it's because of concerns of the coronavirus and things of that nature. My theory is after that big sell-off in March, and then the Fed pumped the markets up so much, right? They pumped it up so much to where we almost got back to the highs back in February. It was like a V-shaped recovery. If I could go to the S&P real quick, and you're able to see on this graph, it's pretty much like a V-shaped recovery, almost, right? To a V-shaped recovery from March. So boom, this happened. It was at March 22nd, and then it's just been up, and we took a big dive. Not so much of a big dive, yeah, big dive today. All right, about 5% or so, I think. Anyway, my idea is that it was a big pump and dump scheme. It was for the wealthy and the elites to be able to fill their bags, and then they all just dump it on the unsuspecting retail investors, because this market, it's not making any sense. We're still seeing that people, millions, I think basically a third, or I may be mistaken, yeah, about over 40 million people of working age adults are still out of work. Although states are starting to reopen and things of that nature, we are seeing that the working class citizens aren't going back to work, because if you're talking about restaurants, they are only allowed to have up to what, some places from 25% capacity to 50% capacity. So that means half the workers aren't going to come back to work. And then also we got to take into effect the fact that we have people are going to be running out of their unemployment checks that they've been collecting. So bills are going to be getting delayed. We're going to see rent not going to be getting paid, mortgages not going to be getting paid. So this thing is a domino effect, and for them to say that this thing was going to be recovering, and the stock market is good, we're up 40% since March, like it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing for the stock market, but the top 1% of Americans are the ones that mostly invested, that owns most of the stocks. And the retail investors are the ones that are, I think, in my opinion, not financial advice, are the ones that are going to be getting hurt. I think this is a classic pump and dump scheme. The market crashed because COVID wasn't the cause of the market crashing. It was just a pin that popped the bubble. And we're seeing the Fed doing whatever it takes to inflate the market. And we're going to see a big dump coming soon. They already pumped it up, and I think that they're going to continue to take their profits and dump it. That's just my opinion. You let me know in the comment section below if I am crazy in my ideas and my thinking of what's happening in this global macro space. It's Sergeant Crypto. Thank you for watching. Smash the likes, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. And I'm out. Peace.